The Philadelphia Soul fell behind early and mounted a comeback, but did not have an answer for the Tommy Grady to Rodney Wright connection as the Pittsburgh Power outlasted Philadelphia 65-57 at the Consol Energy Center on Saturday night. Tonight we'll talk to Soul assistant coach Phil Bogle and quarterback Dan Rodabaugh about the game. Jaws will be back to talk some football. Vinnie the Crumb has a few words to say about the voodoo. And I'll have my own thoughts to share with you about the upcoming NFL Draft. I'm Rhea Hughes. The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is next.
Fifth touchdown of the night for Jared Ross on the strike. And it's a touchdown to Tiger Jones as the safety. And the Soul defense has it going right.
Philadelphia Soul had a tough time in Pittsburgh on Saturday night. Defensively, they were unable to make stops. Offensively, they kind of looked out of sync a little bit. Didn't help when they tried to mount that comeback in the second half when they lost one of their top offensive players when he was ejected from the game. Here's the game summary.
What a great start. This is the Soul's first play.
Tosses in that game. Now looks long on first down. McDaniel, touchdown, Soul!
Pittsburgh's passer is former league MVP Tommy Grady. At 6'7", he would pile up some tall numbers to match, even working with two new receivers like Rodney Wright. 21-14 Power after one, but Philly driving to even things at the start of the second when the game changes on this blindside swipe of the ball by Jake Colleen, stripping Rodabaugh, recovered by the Power. Grady takes one play to cash in and change the game.
Margin goes to the end zone, has a man, a great catch against the back wall.
28-14 Pittsburgh, who then force another turnover on downs when Rodabaugh and McDaniel get their signals crossed on 4th and 6. The ball back, Grady finds Wright in tight to stretch the Power lead to 35-14 and 38-21 at the half. Rodabaugh and McDaniel have it all straightened out to start the second half from 27 yards, and the comeback is on. And when Larico Stevenson runs down Wright on the return and strips the ball, Philly has the ball and the break they need. But see right there, struggling to get out from under that pile, Ryan McDaniel will be ejected for those little rabbit punches. And all the momentum is lost, along with their leading receiver, who is tossed. 51-35 Power into the fourth quarter. The Soul not done. Veteran Tiger Jones starts to take over, and the lead is cut to 8.
Rodabaugh to the end zone, and Tiger Jones has it again.
The Power facing 4th down and going down, but Rodney Wright somehow cradles the ball between his thighs and then secures it for the score. And another 15-point lead. The Soul need a quick score, and after bobbling it, James Romaine gets it as quick as possible.
He has running room at the 15. He breaks to the corner. James Romaine is going to score a touchdown.
The quick 6 on the kick cuts the lead to 8. Now the pressure's on Pittsburgh, but on their first play, the Soul defense overplays. The surprise starter becomes the surprise star of the night. Rodney Wright finishes his biggest night as a pro and finishes the Soul with a long score. The final from Pittsburgh, Power 65, the Soul 57.
Joining me now is Ron Jaworski. Now, Jaws, when we spoke last week, you told us about the development of Kurt Warner as a quarterback with the Iowa Barnstormers. So, Jaws, what does it take to be successful as a quarterback in professional football?
I truly believe to have success playing quarterback at any level, the National Football League, the Arena Football League, college level, high school, Pop Warner, you must have leadership. And when you look at quarterbacks that have success around any level of football, it comes from here, from the heart, the ability to lead. You also have to have a special skill set for each and every league. In the National Football League, primarily arm strength and accuracy. You go to the Arena Football League where, say, Dan Rodabaugh, the quarterback of the Philadelphia Soul, may not have the strongest arm as far as throwing the football, but he knows the angles of the Arena Football League. He can make all those touch throws, and he has great movement within the pocket. That's so critical at any level. But when I look at quarterbacks, it really starts with what you have up here, the intelligence to understand your system, play within that system, and again, show that strong leadership, Rhea.
All right, so what do you look for in a quarterback in the Arena Football League?
Rhea, one of the attributes you must have to be a quarterback in the Arena Football League is toughness. The Arena Football League is a passing league. We throw the football almost every single down. I truly believe we hand the ball off just to rest the quarterback's arm and let the wide receivers get a deep breath. But you have to be tough. You're going to have to hang in the pocket, deliver the football on time, in rhythm with the offense. And when I say you've got to be tough, you're going to get hit. In the Arena Football League, there's only a center and an offensive lineman to the quarterback's left and right. So defensive rushing players are in your face in a heartbeat. So there's going to be hits on the quarterback. Get rid of the ball quickly, get rid of the ball accurately, and take the hit. Those are key ingredients to having success at the NFL quarterback position, or I should say the AFL quarterback position as well.
All right, Charles, let's talk about your guy then, Dan Rodabaugh. What are your thoughts about him as the quarterback for the Soul?
Rhea, Dan Rodabaugh is one of the premier quarterbacks in the Arena Football League. I love Dan Rodabaugh's skill set. I love what's in his belly, what's in his mind, what's in his heart. He's a fierce competitor. He truly is the leader of the Philadelphia Soul in the locker room and on the field. How can you not like the skill set of Dan Rodabaugh? I actually put him through a combine-style workout. Clearly, that combine, it showed that Dan Rodabaugh has NFL skill set. The Arena Football League is a precision passing league. You have to have intelligence, number one. Dan Rodabaugh has that great intelligence. You have to have accuracy, anticipation, and good touch. And as I've watched Dan now over the last couple of years, the one thing you could see is he's developed all those quarterback attributes. He gets better not only every single season, he gets better every single game. He works with a Hall of Fame coach in Clint Dozel, who knows how to be proficient at the Arena Football League quarterback position. He has taught Dan that great skill set. So the combination of Hall of Famer head coach Clint Dozel working with Dan Rodabaugh is a terrific recipe for success.
All right, thanks, Jaws. And, I'd just say one thing there. If I'm Dan Rodabaugh, I just kind of take that tape as my resume and say, Jaws thinks I'm good enough to play in the NFL. But, this guy who's led, Jaws' team to 2 straight appearances in the Arena Bowl Championship. Well, the Soul are home this Saturday, May 10th at 6 p.m. Soul versus the New Orleans Voodoo. Join us for the first professional football LGBT night presented by Amtrak, Out with the Soul Champions for Equality Night, which will help raise awareness and show support for the LGBT community. For tickets, call 888-789-SOUL or go to www.philadelphiasoul.com. After the break, we'll talk to assistant coach Phil Bogle about Saturday's game, and we'll also sit down with quarterback Dan Rodabaugh when we return to the Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is sponsored by Pro Systems Audio, one of Philadelphia's finest audio, video, and lighting contracting firms. By Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. And by the Judge Group and Judge Unified Communications, designing, developing, deploying, and managing advanced technologies for clients across the globe.
Scott, he's doing a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicken and Pizza as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
People are having a hard time believing Equus owners these days. You see, when you own an Equus, you get complimentary maintenance. And our valet picks up the card, drops off a loaner, and brings your Equus right back when it's ready. That's complimentary too. That's right. You better believe it. The Equus from Hyundai.
Ready for a little fun? You could scratch your way to instant winning. Play the Pennsylvania Lottery's new instant game, Money Money Millionaire. With 5 top prizes of $1 million, it's kind of fun to cook something up. Keep on scratching.
the Hyundai Drive Your Way Drive of the Game.
Touchdown tosses in that game. Now looks long on first down. McDaniel, touchdown, Soul! And that touchdown brought to you by Foods Galore.
Welcome back to Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore. And I would like to welcome into the show assistant head coach and line coach Phil Bogle. Welcome to the show, Phil.
Thanks for having me.
Now, I have a question. Was assistant head coach, does that mean you do all the work and Clint gets all the credit?
No, I can't say that. It's a tall task, but Clint gives me the liberty to control my group of guys, and I appreciate him for the opportunity to be here and work with our team.
Now, you're the line coach, so when you're out there, on the field with him, are you a yeller? Are you a calm guy? What's your demeanor out on the field? I coach football very similar to how I played football. So I was an aggressive player, so I think I coach my guys the same way. So at times I can be calm, but I think I'm a yeller, and I get excited when we do well and when we not so well. We'll talk a little bit about that on Saturday night's game, where you had your 3-game winning streak snapped. Defensively, you just were unable to get stops on 3rd and 4th down. What was really the problem there? Just
miscues. Just there. I mean, we were there on a lot of those 3rd and 4th downs. I think we just needed a little more pressure up front from my group of guys. And I think we were just a step or two off, in the secondary. So it's just putting all those things together, and those plays will come back, and we'll get them.
And the Grady to White connection was kind of a really tough one to stop on Saturday, right?
Yeah. I mean, they got a good connection. They've worked together all season, and they're kind of on a roll. They got a good group. Pittsburgh isn't a team that people have known from the past. They've stepped it up in a lot of areas, and they're very, very competitive.
Do you think sometimes when you get on a little, you started out 0-3, got back to 500 with the 3 straight wins, is it sometimes that maybe the players just start to get ahead of themselves, like we've righted the ship, and you kind of have to work on that with them?
Yeah, complacency can set in, and it doesn't matter if you're 7-0 or in our situation 3-3 at the time. You do have to continue to work. Every week is a new opponent, is a new task, and we've got to continue to work just as hard as if we were 7-0.
Now, you've got experience, obviously, as a player. I actually covered you when I was a sideline reporter for the Soul, and you have experience winning a championship. And I know you've been with the Soul, the last 2 years they've made an appearance in it. They've been unable to win it. What do you try to tell the players how to get over the hump? Because you already know what it's like to win one.
Well, it's going to be everybody. It's going to be all of us together, a team. It's no one man is going to win this thing. We've got to do it. Everyone's got to do, what we say they're 1/8 to put together, a complete team. I think in 2008 when we won it, it was everyone, offensive line, quarterbacks, secondary. So everyone worked together to accomplish this goal.
All right, Phil, thanks so much for joining us on Soul Insider.
Thanks for having me. My pleasure.
Now let's bring in Soul quarterback Dan Rodabaugh. Dan, thanks for joining us on Soul Insider.
Yeah, hey, good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Well, I didn't mean to bring you in. You had a 3-game win streak, and you just were unavailable. You people said you were too big because you had, won 3 in a row, and then I bring you in as soon as you lose a game. So I apologize for that in advance. But what kind of went on Saturday night? It seemed like you got down, and then it just had a lot of trouble, climbing out of the hole you guys created for yourself.
Yeah, we didn't capitalize on a couple opportunities we had. We should have kept it score for score there in the first half, and costly turnover, and then a stop on 4th down. And if you want to be a successful team in this league like we have in the past, and like I know we can be, you got to eliminate mistakes like that. Credit to Pittsburgh, I thought they played well. Their quarterback, Tommy, was on fire, hooking up with Wright. He had a big game, too, for them. But, besides those 2 or 3 bad plays, I thought we played okay offensively. Our offensive line's been playing great for us. Our receivers are making plays, but we're a little dinged up, but we'll be all right. We'll get better.
How much did it hurt losing Ryan McDaniel in the second half after, the little altercation that he had?
Yeah, man, that's unfortunate how that panned out. But Ryan's a great player. He's an emotional player for us. So anytime you remove that from our huddle and our chemistry, it takes a little bit of, I don't want to say it takes a little bit of life or a little bit of heart from us, but it definitely, as passionate as he is, it had a little bit of effect. And sequentially, we got stopped on that drive. So you take that out, and who knows what happens. But I got trust in all of our guys, and other guys stepped up and made plays. So we got to keep moving. It's arena football. Anything could happen.
You got a feisty coach in Clint Ozell, and I covered him back when he was a player, so I know what he was like as a player. Very chirpy, on the sidelines, and I see it, when he's there now. What is it like, kind of being mentored by him, especially guys in the Arena Hall of Fame?
It's a pleasure to come to work every day when you've got someone who's in charge like Coach Ozell is, and he's taught me so much about the game, and not only the game but about life. And like I said, it's a privilege to get to be around the guy as much as I am. I try to soak everything up like a sponge, and he's a great coach. We've got great players, but they're only getting better because he's that good of a coach, and he's surrounded himself with other good coaches. And he's fiery, and I think it rubs off on me a little bit. And I got no problem chirping at some of the guys on the field during games, but hey, we're going to win because we got him and the culture he's building here.
All right, I want to thank quarterback Dan Rodabaugh for being our guest on Soul Insider. Dan, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, the Soul return to the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday, May 10th at 6 p.m. to take on the New Orleans Voodoo for LGBT Night. Get your family 4-pack now, 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, 4 sodas, 4 popcorns for as low as $68. Call 888-789-SOUL or go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. After the break, we'll hear from Vinnie the Crumb with a segment we call Vinnie's Crumbs. This week, he has a few words to say about the voodoo when we return to the Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
How can the Judge Group help your business? By providing you with effective business technology solutions. By recruiting the finest personnel to meet your unique business needs. By providing corporate training, learning, and performance support solutions. And unified communications, voice and video system design and engineering. With over 30 offices in the U.S., Canada, and Asia, the Judge Group, a global leader in professional services since 1970.
No one else can do what Colonial Marble and Granite can do. We've revolutionized the way you buy your granite countertops. Colonial Marble and Granite, the nation's leading granite countertop fabricator. Visit our King of Prussia showroom today and see how easy, beautiful, and affordable your countertops can be. Professional, courteous service, unbeatable prices, just $19.99 installed. No one else can beat Colonial Marble and Granite. Visit us online at colonialmarble.net.
People are having a hard time believing Equus owners these days. You see, when you own an Equus, you get complimentary maintenance. And our valet picks up the car, drops off a loaner, and brings your Equus right back when it's ready. That's complimentary too. That's right. You better believe it. The Equus from Hyundai.
Hi, I'm Tony Mitchell, Brinker Simpson & Company, Certified Public Accountants. We offer comprehensive financial compliance and tax services. As Philadelphia's leading tax and advisory firm, we let our clients say it best.
Tony and his team at Brinker Simpson provided the expertise of a large accounting firm, but didn't forget their small business roots.
Brinker Simpson has a clear business vision that looks beyond spreadsheets and numbers and sees opportunities.
At Brinker Simpson, firm relationships build success.
And now, the stop pain stop of the game.
Making a good special teams play, but instead it's a good return for the Power, still on his feet. Now the ball was loose. Stevenson on it. Did the Soul have it? This would be a big turnover. And they say yes.
One of my favorite annual sporting events takes place this week. Full of drama, a made-for-television event, and it turns 34 years old this week. It is the NFL Draft. Howard Cosell once called it one of the more ridiculous, overhyped non-events in the history of sport. And oh, how right he was. I guess about 90% of football fans, though, however, will be tuned in. Now, there's a reason why fantasy football has exploded in popularity. You actually get to be a general manager. Day after draft, one of my favorite things, when you get to rip your GM for picking the wrong player. One you've never actually seen play, but you're pretty sure sucks because you've watched a mock draft or two. Now, you might have seen some of these players at the combine in shorts and T-shirts, running the 40, weightlifting, catching passes. And it's remarkable how a player's stock rises and falls more once the college football season ends than during it. We know that far too well in Philadelphia. I See Mike Mamula. Remember when Jeff Lurie and Joe Banner used to show up at workouts with stopwatches? That was fun. I know that offensive linemen are the least sexy picks. You'd like your star quarterback to not get knocked on his ass on every play, but you'd prefer a playmaker with that number one pick. Many NFL experts will pontificate ad nauseum on players and where they should go and where they'll go. Actually was a debate once upon a time on which quarterback should go first, Ryan Leaf or Peyton Manning. How'd that work out? 198 players were drafted before Tom Brady. And then you get fun nuggets like this from draft experts. I can't remember being in such awe of a quarterback in my decade of attending combines and pro days. The ball just explodes out of his hand. Well, that was long before he tied on the feed bag. That quarterback, that was Jamarcus Russell. And what about a future Hall of Fame quarterback who got his start in the Arena League and went undrafted? Well, that was Kurt Warner. But on Thursday night, Mike Keister will be parked in my Barcolanger watching hour after hour of coverage. It's the NFL draft. It's like empty calories. You'll regret it later, but at the time, it tastes really, really good. And somebody who knows about stuff that tastes really, really good, since I'm sure he's had many empty calories, here's Vinnie the Crumb with his rant on voodoo.
Thanks, Rhea. Yo, it's me, the Crumb, and here's what I think. Well, the Soul W streak ended this past weekend, like some of the dates I used to go on back in the day. It started out exciting, there's a lull in the middle, and then in the end, we both walk away disappointed. 65-57. The Power snapped the Soul 3-game win streak like Mrs. Crumb snaps when the trash don't go out on time. Soul made a comeback in the fourth quarter, outscoring the Power 22-14, but like my paycheck, it just wasn't enough. I wouldn't sweat this loss, though. As we speak, Coach Dozel's on the phone with a few of my pipe-swinging fellas in South Philly and having the hotel rooms rigged for the incoming New Orleans voodoo. Ever been to New Orleans? Well, whenever anyone asks me about it, I say three things. It's hot, it's dirty, and the rats are bigger than Shih Tzus. It is the armpit of the United States of America, and there's not a speed stick big enough to handle it. The crime rate is higher than my blood pressure, and everyone walks around smelling like feet. And at 1 and 5, I'm about as worried about these guys as I am about personal malnutrition. So come do that voodoo you think you do while we put the beat down on you. I'm Vinnie the Crumb, baby, and that's what I think.
Vinnie, I'm pretty sure that the New Orleans Tourism Board is not inviting you to speak on their behalf anytime soon.
No, I'm pretty sure they're going to pass on my audition for the voiceover for that.
Not a fan, so I shouldn't go then.
Definitely not. You can skip that part.
All right, and luckily, we've never dated, so I don't have to worry about being incredibly disappointed anytime soon.
Oh, no, I can do that from here.
No. Vinnie, thank you as always, and we will talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Rhea.
And the Soul return to the Wells Fargo Center this Saturday, May 10th at 6 p.m. to take on the New Orleans Voodoo for LGBT Night. Get your Soul mini pack now. 1 ticket for 3 games, a hot dog, soda, and popcorn for each game, and a bobblehead doll for just $89. Get your choice of a Soul Man or Tiger Jones bobblehead package options. Call 888-789-SOUL or go to PhiladelphiaSoul.com. After the break, we'll return with a look ahead to the next Soul game, some closing thoughts and words from you, the fans, when we return to the Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
Bradford White Water Heaters. American made, American owned, built to be the best. Why would you buy any other brand? Visit BradfordWhite.com to find a contractor near you.
Scott, he do a great job for us, whether it be, the steak meat, the lobster, everything is our own brand. It's a testimonial to Foods Galore.
Service is what's made our company. Loyalty, reliability, honesty. Your growth was one of the main reasons why I evolved in the business.
People look at Chicky and Pizza as a success story, but it's actually your success story. It works just like a marriage, because I still have my wife and I still have you.
Soul fans, here's your chance to win the ultimate tailgate prize package. The Soul and your neighborhood Walgreens has your chance to win. Every month, you can win a 50-inch flat-screen TV, Soul tailgate grill, table, chairs, and coolers. Plus, you and 10 of your friends get to go to a Soul game VIP style in an all-you-can-eat club box. Get to Walgreens now and visit the Soul Zone. A new winner is selected every month. Brought to you in part by Canada Dry, Smart Water, Good Health Natural, Utz, Red Bull, Stop Pain, Coca-Cola, and Peanut Chews. No purchase necessary. Please see website for complete rules and regulations.
Here's the Colonial Marble rock-solid player of the game.
No, it's Romaine on the return. He has running room at the 15. He breaks to the corner. James Romaine is going to score a touchdown. That touchdown scored for your Soul fans and by Foods Galore.
Welcome back to Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore. Now, the Soul will be back home on Saturday night, 6 p.m. in a nationally televised game against the New Orleans Voodoo, who only have one win on the season. So hopefully Soul will be able to get back on track Saturday night. All right, let's go to the mailbag. David Loeb has a question. Can you explain the difference in kicking a field goal in the AFL versus kicking a field goal in the NFL? All right, get your pens ready. This is a little detailed. All right, let's begin with the dimensions of the field goal post. The AFL crossbar is 5 feet higher than an NFL crossbar, and the goal posts are half the width in the AFL, making the window for a successful attempt that much more difficult in the AFL than the NFL. Then on top of that, if you miss a field goal in the NFL, plays dead. Not so in the AFL. You have to watch because the ball can bounce off the rebound nets to the left or right of the post, and that is a live ball, and the defense does have the ability to return that ball for a touchdown. And we have Joe Walker. With 44 seconds left against Pittsburgh, wouldn't it have been better to let Pittsburgh score, get the kickoff attempted, quick touchdown, and then an onside kick rather than let Pittsburgh eat away the clock to 0? Well, here's the reason for that, Joe. Pittsburgh had no interest in scoring in that situation. Even if your defense had just laid on the ground, they would not have scored a touchdown. They were simply going to let the clock run out at that point in the game. Thanks for joining us on this week's edition of Soul Insider. Please join us again next week when hopefully the Soul have a win over the Voodoo Saturday night, 6 p.m. at the Wells Fargo Center. Thanks for joining us on Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore.
The Soul Insider, presented by Foods Galore, is sponsored by Pro Systems, Pro Systems Audio, one of Philadelphia's finest audio, video, and lighting contracting firms. By Walgreens, at the corner of happy and healthy. And by the Judge Group and Judge Unified Communications, designing, developing, deploying, and managing advanced technologies for clients across the globe.